Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TubeBuddy support live stream. Yay! Cue background audience.
What's up? Yeah, we need some audio stuff here. You need to get some music on this. You got to get some sound effects. The music and everything.
The music is playing actually.
Okay,
there's some lo-fi in the background, but I do plan on introducing some fake audience claps and laughter and crickets and all the goodies.
Nice.
So first, welcome everybody that has decided to join us or has stumbled upon this little side of the world that is known as TubeBuddy.
Dude, you have a great crew in the chat right now. Look at this. You've got we got all our Discord guys. You've got Surviving Jay, Dysphagia,
Matt.
Guys, thank you so much. Food Mastarny? How am I pronouncing that right or not? Food Mastarny. Peter Orchard Studios, one of the great artist channels on Twitter. You need to be checking that out. Paul Peck, Drywall Tube, who is OG TubeBuddy. Appreciate you coming and hanging out, sir. Real Estate Command, Matt. How are you doing there, man? Hadn't seen you in a minute. We got Relationship Matters with Modupe Ika. I hope I got that right. Guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. We are going to have some fun today, and we need your participation on this.
Yeah, but already the fact that everybody has joined and supported, that's a huge amount of participation, as it is. So, an applause to you. Oh, I really need to add this audience sound.
I would get the keyboard. You got to have one of those keys that makes just like an empty keyboard sound, just like the sound of the key.
Clink, ding. I will. All of it's going to go on there. In fact, our subscribers, viewers, chat, you'll be able to define your own sounds as well. This is going to be our show. If anything, trying to build it right now, it's creator community. It's about us, you, and those watching later, just encouraging each other, supporting each other. And what a great kind of proof of support or example of support with everyone already just joining just to hang out with us. I'm joined today with the TB support team, other creators as well. We have Stanley there on that little side of the corner, and Kathleen there on that part of the screen. And
what's our topic of conversation today? What are we looking at? I need this. I want to get in on this. I want to know what we're talking about. We talked about it behind the scenes, and there's some things here that I want to get into, but let everybody know, what are we doing?
Here's what we're doing. We're talking about being or staying motivated. I think that sometimes it's easy to kind of just lose gas or run out of gas. And it really just, there's a lot of different ways that we can stay motivated because everybody's so different. I think it's subjective or relative to everyone's situation. And so one of the main things is how can we help share how we stay motivated with you? If it's sharing tips, I have 6 tips today of ways that help me stay motivated, especially during a time right now where I feel currently I'm struggling with maintaining momentum. It's my current experience right now, and both of you can tell me too, what, if you're relating to this or if it's different for you at the moment. But right now it's a matter of, the excitement's there for an idea, you have it, and then you got another one and you're rolling. At a certain point, it's those creative juices start to slow down. And so it's, and trying to keep that same pace for the goal of maintaining consistency. It's tough because and it could be easy to lose sight of what the goal is and only see the consistent, like, this needs to happen this day, this needs to happen this day, and then it's easy to forget, well, you're actually doing. And so I'm struggling to kind of keep that momentum, find that momentum, keep that fire high when, you find that cool idea. That's my current struggle right now, and that's, or my current experience right now. And so I want to talk about, staying motivated, and what helps you stay motivated. And some of those tips, the first tip that I have for myself, is just sharing feedback and results. So this exactly, just kind of sharing with you, with people in chat. Like, I don't know if y'all are relating to this as well, but here's tip 1. Just sharing that. sharing the results, which some of you've already seen TubeBuddy support stuff there, and we also have some side projects outside of that that are turning out pretty cool. At the same time, collecting feedback is one thing, but being able to talk about it with others is important. Is that something that helps you, Stanley, Kathleen? What do you think about that? If that were to be a tip?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I love the Discord community so much.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that Stanley and I have talked about this in our streams there, but I think that having an accountability group is which the Discord community can be. We have a lot of channels on there for people to share their thumbnails, their banners, their videos, and get critiques that are helpful, that help guide people how to improve upon themselves. I know just personally, I also have friends who aren't even YouTube creators or anything, but I like to get feedback from other people who are kind of outside of it too. And people, I think it's important to find people in your life who will just be really honest with you, because you don't want you don't want yes people.
That's difficult. That's sometimes it's just like no, you're doing great, doing great. But I continue as you're saying.
No, I mean, that was just I would say, like, having, I think it's good to have both those kinds of groups. One, people who are in it and who kind of know your language, and know your share and sympathize with your struggles of what you're working on. And then also, I think it's good to get an outsider's perspective as well, because you never know who's watching, right? Like a plethora of different people are going to be coming across, ideally, right, your videos. So that'd be my 2 cents.
It can be really easy to get stuck in your own head, to go where you have this plan on how you do things. You create video, you get into a rut. That's why they call it a rut. It's because you get into the process of filming a video a certain way, you script it a certain way, you edit it a certain way, and you start doing that. You start seeing what works and what you like and what makes it faster or easier or whatever the case may be, and you start getting into this rut of like making the same thing over and over and over and over again, and that really has a tendency of, that just can really blow the creative juices to where you are just not feeling it. It happens at times. For some people, it happens a lot more often than others, but it happens to every single one of us. We all come across a writer's block, creator's block as a result of that. So like Kathleen was saying, it is an excellent thing to do, to have other people to talk to, and get outside of your own mental headspace, and go and talk to people. Go to an accountability group. Go hang out in somebody else's Discord or whatever the case may be. Go talk to somebody and listen to what they have to say. Ask them a question like, hey, what do you don't ask them, what do you think about this? What would you do better? Tell them, hey, I do this thing. You kind of have to don't lead their answer, but you definitely want to try to get specifics. You don't want them saying, well, it's a good video. That doesn't help anybody. You want to tell them, hey, like, I'm filming it like this, and I film it like this because of this reason, because I saw this other person doing this thing, or whatever the case may be. And try to get them to be like, oh, well, that's why you film it like that. That's pretty cool. But man, what about this other thing that you could be doing? And get into that space of being like, oh, what if I did do that? Well, go watch, if you don't have somebody to talk to, go watch another YouTube video. Go watch somebody who is outside of your niche. Go I do a fishing channel. Anybody who knows me, I talk about it a lot. You're gonna hear me say that one a lot. I do a fishing channel. I do not take motivation from many. I do some, but I don't take motivation from many fishing channels. I get my motivation from guys who are good storytellers. We talk about Peter McKinnon a lot. Mr. Beast is obviously, like, he knows what he's doing. You would be remiss if you are not at least aware of what Mr. Beast does and why he does it, because nobody in the world has their finger on the pulse of what works better than he does. Real quick, just so you know, we've got some people talking about this in the chat. There is a 5-minute delay for new subscribers. We apologize for that. Just hang out with us. As soon as that 5 minutes up, you will be able to chat with us. In order to subscribe, right below the screen, right over here, there's like a bunch of little like YouTube options. You've got the thumbs up, the thumbs down, like a little thing to share. There should be a button to hit subscribe there. And if you hit on that, there will be like a 5-minute delay, and then you'll be able to chat and come join us somewhere.
That's all it takes. Just to make sure, we're not getting bots or other stuff. It kind of helps, it's 5 minutes. I think we'll be okay. But thank you. I agree. And I think one of the things I like a lot that stood out to what you're saying is like looking at content or channels or other creators that are doing things outside of what you're doing. That adds so much to, trying to put things together. Like, you never know, you kind of get ideas or inspiration, and it's a breath of fresh air. I'm totally with you on that. I did see somebody say Fit Lab continue to keep an open mind and trying to keep adapting and finding ways to improve have been a big help. Exactly that. Like, just, I think that helps with that being, keeping an open mind is being, going to see these different kinds of categories or topics or styles that are completely outside of yours. Again, just kind of helps break the redundancy out sometimes. The creator's block.
One that I do that's this is one of the things I actually sent a really like heartfelt letter to a gentleman just this morning, the guy who got me into YouTube in the first place, just crossed 500,000 subscribers. And he put out a video of like, thank you, but this isn't about me. This is about you. So in the comments down below, I thought this was so great.
Oh no.
His video. Can you hear me okay?
Sorry, Kathleen? What was that?
It froze for me.
We're all good.
Sorry. So this gentleman, he crossed 500,000 subscribers, and he put out this video, and he was saying, leave a comment down below. Let me know, how you found me. What was the first video? Let's reminisce. Let's talk about this. He was trying to make it about the audience, just chef's kiss on the approach for that whole thing. So I was like, well, let's talk. I'm all about this because I love this gentleman. And so I wrote the longest comment ever. It probably took me like 20 minutes. Actually, I had tears in my eyes writing it. This gentleman was a gamer. He's a gaming channel. And it was watching his playthroughs that got me into the whole YouTube thing in the first place. And it's because of the way that he told the story. I love watching gaming channels, like the guys who are good at what they do. And the reason is because the story's kind of already written for them in the game that they're playing. So it's all about how they deliver that story. This gentleman in particular was really good about, using the story of the game and utilizing that to make a great video. And that's, how he got to the 500,000 subscriber point that he did. So yeah, personally, I watch gamers. I like a good gaming channel in how they tell a story, or another great resource for something like that. Go watch a movie, go watch a television show. These guys have mastered this decades before YouTube was ever around. They tell a story. They know your attention span. At least, like they know what it was 10 years ago. It's changed a little bit now. But these guys know how to put together a story. You can follow you can watch them and study and learn from them and use that to improve the quality of your own content.
Yeah.
Real quick, FitLab in the chat said, I've had people ask me for my constructive feedback to improve their dead channels, and after giving the kindest constructive advice possible, they got angry and defensive and couldn't hear what I said. That's important to keep an open mind when people are giving you that constructive feedback, because especially when you're in a community like Discord or they're your friends, you're giving this feedback to someone, or they're giving you this feedback to help you. There's no reason to get angry. I know it hurts sometimes when you put something out and you're being vulnerable, of course, of like, this is what you've created. And it hurts, of course, sometimes to hear when you've had some shortcomings, I suppose. But, you know, nobody starts off being a master at something right off the bat.
And even that, just no one starts off being a master at taking critique. You know, it's definitely can be hard, and you know, but in practice or over time, that practice will help you start to know which critique to take or which one is going to help you, which one you know is, oh, here's something. The rest you can, you know, letting it, you know, it's like looking for gold in a river. Like you just, all right, that one's probably not going to help, but you know, and it doesn't have to dig deep. But at the same time, I completely also relate with how, you know, it could be very vulnerable, especially when you're making content, you're putting yourself out there, you're really putting yourself out there, like so much that, you know, and to hear some, you know, anything, it can be it's tender, it can be a little tender. But over time, you know, like lifting weights or anything, it's finding that balance, to know how to take advantage of the critique so that you can keep improving. It's a big thing. I did want to, something that stood out that Matt said, creatives are chaotic, which is why consistency is a challenge. I love that. I relate to that a lot. I seem to thrive under chaos, but when there is that, you know, just almost expected kind of routine, it gets weird. Like, this isn't normal. But anyways, I like that. And and the idea of an accountability group, Fit Lab, again, also very cool. And that's kind of what I want with this, is just us to be, you know, have that, have a space and a time for us where we can just talk shop, be silly, encourage each other, talk about stuff. But yeah, there's quite a lot going on in chat. Yeah,
real quick, talking about that chat, I need to take just a second here. Mom, hi. Thank you for coming in.
Hi, Stanley's mom.
Woo! And then a couple of my accountability group is in here hanging out with us as well. That's Grant and McIntosh, A&J Outdoors. If you're interested in some amazing outdoors content, those are my boys. Check them out. And then I've got some other family members that are all checking in on this too. So my father-in-law, my dad, of course, my brother. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You are all, you know, I was thanking that gentleman this morning, the 5,000 subscriber thing, and I had to mention, you know, the family and everything like that, because family is critical in everything that we do. So, you know, if I'm handing out thank yous and doing that whole thing, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you being there for me. There's my dad. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Hi, Stanley's dad.
Stanley's father. Welcome to the party.
One of these days, I want my mom and dad to have their own YouTube channel. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I thought about getting my mom a cooking channel, since she loves baking, or a baking channel and stuff like that. But it's another conversation. Matt saying, I've learned to embrace the chaotic process of confusion to some people. I need to figure out how to incorporate my chaotic process into a streamlined process. Quite the thing. I just want to catch up with chat really quick before we kind of move into some of these other tips.
Great.
That was where I started my channel and got off to running start out of the gates, and I only continue to improve with every single subsequent video I make by continuing to learn more every day.
Don't ever change that. Don't ever change that. I don't care if you are 3,000 videos deep, and I have seen channels that are 3,000 videos deep. Do not change that. You need to improve with every single video. Don't ever let that get old.
Yeah, for real. For real. And yeah, and not only for ourselves, but people change too. Topics change, and the topics that we like change, and you know, it's just constant. that change. I think it's important to keep improving. Audience interaction is fun. Oh yeah, it is spontaneous. There's so much. There's so much. You amazing people.
Comment on everybody's comments.
Look, people, amazing people. Come
it's
on,
a little bit different
people.
than outdoor streams we do, guys. Talking TubeBuddy and YouTube and stuff.
Definitely.
What was the second? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to ask what the second thing on your list was, because that was the first.
Yeah.
So what was the second on your list?
So second on the list is, encouraging. Well, for me, it's collaboration and dialogue. So, and encouraging that. I think one of the things that, I look for, especially when I'm in the deepest of ruts, is collaboration to kind of re-spark that fire. To kind of see somebody's creative process, to see somebody's workflow, to see somebody's, fire, just almost shit that it shares some of that fire and kind of reignites a spark. And just kind of really talking about that or just, having that dialogue and, collaboration ideas, or just building something. It doesn't have to be a separate channel or a separate project, but one, something. It can be as small as it needs to be. And, I think that's definitely something that helps. We see that with a lot of creators, they'll collaborate with others. And not only will it be motivating or inspiring, encouraging, supportive, all the things, but it also helps you with marketing and, promotion and getting out there. Because again, it's the community. We're doing this for the community. And creators are part of that community. And, working with creators, we're strengthening those ties within the community. And it's just going to help grow either way. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Stanley?
Collaboration is great. So the value in that is, first off, there's something that needs to be said about that. So collaboration, one of the things, there's going to be people who from time to time, and I think everybody here probably has had this thought at one point or another. So be aware that this happens. So collaboration, a lot of people think that a collaboration means I want to get with a bigger YouTube channel. I want to find a 100,000 subscriber channel, and I want to collaborate with that person because I want part of that audience. I want to be seen in front of their audience, and I want to try to gain subscribers because they have a bunch of subscribers. That is absolutely not how this works. When I do collaborations, I aim for the fences. I swing for the fences just like anybody else does. And we've had some really cool, really big channels who have we've had discussions with. They've been on live streams with us in the past. And that's great. That was wonderful. We're not about using that as a means of gaining subscribers. So I personally, I really, really enjoy you want to have some fun. You want to really enjoy a stream. You find a channel with 100 subscribers or 10 subscribers or 50, whatever. You find somebody who is just starting off. They are fresh. They are hitting the ground running. They are excited and they are whatever, not rejuvenated, but they've got that energy. Collaborate with that person. For one, it makes you the authority. I'm not saying like you're the boss or anything like that, but I mean, it makes you to where you're kind of the cool guy, if you're doing that. But also, man, you got to utilize their energy. Not only utilize their energy, but they're fresh. They're not jaded from YouTube numbers and from, having seen a billion YouTube tutorial videos on how exactly you need to be doing YouTube, because if you're not doing it like that, you are absolutely going to fail. They don't have any of that nonsense in their head. You want to talk about a good collaboration, how you can utilize that as a means of improving what you do. Collaborate with somebody who has 1/10 the number of subscribers, 1/10 the number of videos that you do, and you utilize their energy. You see your content, you see the world fresh through their eyes. Like you're not going to find something that's going to help you more. That point of view is precious. If you are at that point right now where you have 10 subscribers or 100 subscribers, maybe you're just getting to that 1,000 subscriber mark, that's kind of where YouTube begins. You still have those fresh eyes. Don't get jaded. You need to keep that mentality as long as possible. Enjoy every single moment, because I promise you, if you get to that treasured, grass is greener field where you have 100,000 subscribers, it's not the rosy thing that you think it is. Like, there's going to be trials and tribulations at that point as well. That number doesn't fix a single thing in your life. Okay. Enjoy the moments, enjoy what you do. And again, if you're collaborating, go somebody 1/10 the number of subs and videos and views and everything else that you have, and enjoy that moment vicariously through their eyes.
Yeah, I love that. It's huge, I think, because, kind of what you were saying earlier, starting off, some people think collaboration, they think, all right, I'm going to go to that person has 100,000, and really now the direction's lost. What are you really going for? What are you really using this for? What's, sure, there are, not say that there's no strategy behind it, no reason for it, but when it comes to collaboration, there's something much more valuable than views or subs, and it's people and it's others, especially, doesn't matter what the amount of people, but imagine what you can learn or what you do for others, especially, somebody that has just 1/10 of what you have. When you're collaborating with another and you're sharing some of that fire with somebody else, you're going to get more of that fire right back. It's such a feel good, and it's powerful, I think. And back to the whole, losing the direction, it's really focusing on that. It's not about that. It's about how, building that fire with each other, building that fire and building a better foundation for other creators to, helping each other stay afloat, helping each other keep going, because this stuff is, none of us could be doing this if it was just all on our own, completely.
Yeah. I think it's also helpful to do collaborations, like just going back to our original topic of staying motivated and inspired, because when you're working with people who have completely different perspectives and experiences, I find that very motivating and inspiring. I generate a lot of ideas from just when I'm discussing, when I'm analyzing a film and having a discussion about it with someone, when they give me their interpretation of it, it sparks something in me that makes me think of something else. And it just kind of is I go on and on from there, back and forth. And I think that, it's just super invaluable to get someone else's, thoughts on something, because you obviously didn't think about that from that perspective or that angle. And it can possibly help you reframe something maybe you're struggling with. Even I think that I love collaborating with other people for that reason. Seeing other people's processes too, seeing what you can maybe improve upon based on how someone else is approaching something, or another method someone has for themselves.
Yeah, and not just in video on demand or videos on demand, but for me, I've done a lot of live streams with gaming, and there's times where I've collaborated with other streamers, and I don't have many followers, but collaborating with other streamers that have even less than that. But what I learned is, it sparked this fire of improv. It sparked this, I didn't know I could improv in this way, or just have this kind of energy if it wasn't for when I decided to collaborate with somebody. And it was just, some people bring out different sides of yourself, and it could show you different pieces of yourself. And then you can take some of those things that I guess come out of that and introduce it into videos on demand, or just moving forward, that constant improvement of getting better at delivering whatever it is that you are giving to the community, to your audience, to your friends, to your family, all that.
Number 3.
Number 3. Let me look at chat really quick. So there's one like Koi collaborators. There are many bad actors. Yeah, if anything, that's your process of screening, for sure. And sometimes you might screen and it's still, could be something else, but definitely can be helpful. All right, so let's keep moving along here. It's number 3, keeping content varied. For me, as somebody who always needs variation and something new, I think as someone with ADHD, like a whole mess of it, or heavy amounts of it, or whatever, variety is key for me. Doing the same kind of anything gets difficult. And something you said, Stanley, like, just kind of even if you're just writing, filming, writing, filming, like that, even that can be almost a sense of that, like, oh, I'm losing some variety here. But so finding variety in not just your workflow, finding variety in what you're producing, finding variety in your day-to-day, and just whatever it is that you do, I think is something that has motivated me to kind of get something different. For example, sometimes all I need to do is move my room around, switch my desk somewhere else, move my chair from one place to the other, and suddenly it does something. But I think that's one of the, something that is motivating and that can help others too. What do you think?
Kathleen, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I
feel like
variety
you go, Kathleen.
Yeah, I want to hear Kathleen's take on variety.
I don't know. I'm conflicted, right? Because I feel like on the one hand, I think that's my struggle, honestly, is trying to yes, I feel like it's either like because I feel like my problem is I have so many thoughts about so many things. There's so many, like, it's too much variety. I don't know.
I can see
like
that. Okay.
that's actually my problem. And trying to find what makes the most sense to, like, because I definitely think that it's good to have variety to an extent, but I think my problem is narrowing down, right, to see what things make the most sense without having too much, because I feel like too much variety is not good, because then you don't have a focus, right? Like
true, that can be an issue.
So that's kind of what I think. I don't know, but that's why, like, I mean, at the same time, there are, like, for instance, the one channel that I started to develop on, I wanted to combine these different loves that I had with, like, cinematography, with media analysis, with my queer anarchist framework perspective, and how, combining all those things. And I think that that's fun. But again, it's hard to sometimes figure out that balance of
balance.
How much,
the forbidden word. Balance.
Matt says, some people believe you don't have to narrow so quickly, explore and experiment. That's true.
So my thought on that. So that's a great comment. So people think variety and they think, oh, like that they take it as being like, oh, okay, I'm going to do my channel about gaming. Not about a particular game or anything, about gaming in general. Like, they're just going to play a video game. They're going to throw a video up on YouTube. And that's not the kind of variety that we're talking about. You do need to be niched down. You need to be in a what they call a vertical. You have to have your topic, your thing that your channel is about. That having been said, what I highly, highly encourage creators to do, and I take advantage of this, I have seen the negative results of it, and I encourage you to suffer through the negative results as well. You take if you are absolutely committed, you're doing this, you're going to be doing this for a living. This is something that you are going to rely on. You are committed and passionate about what you do. You're going to have your vertical, you're going to have your niche, you're going to have your thing that you're doing. Just don't do fishing, because that's my thing, but you're going to be focused on your thing. It is your channel. And as a creator, for the purposes of mental health, you get to be the good boss that you always wanted. You have to give yourself autonomy. You have to give yourself the freedom to experiment. Personally, I give myself 5% of my videos are me. They are for me. I don't care if the views are going to fail. From time to time, I don't care if I'm going to lose a few subscribers because this does not fall in line with the expectation of the channel. If a subscription is that fragile, then I thank you for your time with the channel. I appreciate your having been here, and I totally understand. I am not trying to force you to stay subscribed. My personality, I'm afraid, is a part of this. I get to treat myself to 5% of my videos. I get to do for me. I can make them whatever I want. If I want to do a barbecue, live stream with my brother, which we will do from time to time, and we are going to talk about Star Wars, I get to do that. I get to gift that to myself. That doesn't fall outside the lines of, staying outside of the vertical. That's not what the variety we're talking about. However, if we're talking variety, one of the things I do enjoy doing as well is trying to find out because you're in that vertical, people think that it's restrictive and that you have to make like the same thing. They kind of get in the mindset of making the same video over and over and over again. And yeah, you're going to hear these guys. You're going to hear Daryl Eves tell you, if you make a banger video, then that needs to be redone in 90 days. You have to kind of, you have to ride the wave of the trend that you're doing, of the virality that you have now gained as a result of a channel driving video. Yeah, you got to do that. But you can get varied with it. You can have some fun with it. Maybe you can try a different approach on B-roll. Maybe for fun, you get your brother, you get him to come over one day and you hand him your camera and say, dude, I want you to film for me today because I want to see how you could do this exact same thing that maybe we just did, but I want to see how you would film it. You can have fun with it. That's the kind of variety that you can have with. And man, you want to talk about getting creative juices going? That is an excellent way of doing it. Getting outside of your head, getting a little variety, going for that 5% video that you wouldn't have otherwise given yourself. Let's see. Some of the chat in here. I make videos that I know my viewers, subscribers want and need to see that will be helpful to them. That's how I tend to decide what my next few videos will be and share my knowledge with them. Absolutely. My brother says I try to give myself 5% of my videos, but I keep taking 80%. The nerve I have. Oh, you are that boss to your, I bet your boss hates you. I bet your YouTube boss just hates you.
I love that idea of for yourself, making stuff for yourself, experimenting for yourself. I think that's super important. You're kind of also thinking about what Fit Lab mentioned. It ultimately depends what your channel is and what you're building there. Mm-hmm. I think in a lot of cases, though, for example, just from mine, like if when I have a channel, I would want myself to be part of that audience that I'm making content for. And gotta have a little bit of fun. Therefore, for me too, for yourselves. I love that idea. I love that there's just this little portion, and still, yeah, you're making content for your audience. You're making content for your community, but you're just as much part of that community. So adding a little bit of spice to the side is always fun, and I think welcome. And you never know, they might also, despite all that, you might kind of be able to branch that audience bubble out, or see how to kind of pull in a broader group of people to do something like that. Experimentation is always great. It's always fun. Things are always worth a thing or two. Hi, Anna. Welcome.
Hey, Anna.
Oh yeah. All right.
On that real quick, I'm not gonna like dump a whole big thing on this, but I am gonna make a comment about this because this is one of those things that I want to see happen. If I was asked, if Susan Washiki or whoever's taken over as CEO for YouTube asked me, what is the one thing we can do? What is the thing that you would change about YouTube? I would ask that we are, as creators, are given the ability to turn off impressions for a video. That would be the thing that I would ask for. Turn off impressions. I want to be able to make a video that doesn't go out to the world. It can be public. I want people to see it. I want to be able to make a video for my subscribers, for the people who are a fan of what I do, who have decided that they want to see more, they want to be a part of that community. I want to be able to make a video for them without it having to be like, you know, let's do this stupid, amazing thumbnail and let's come up with some crazy title so I can entice people in. I just want to make that video that's like, you know, like right now, everybody in the chat, like right now, I want to make a video that's like, thank you so much for, you know, your support. That's a terrible word, but thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for coming and being here, because, you know, I don't need to make a video that the world needs to, that's open up to the entire world to where they can see that. I just want to be able to make a video like, you know, after an amazing live stream, be like, dude, you are so awesome. I want to tell you face to face right now. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. That's always a good thing too, is being thankful, and maybe we might throw it on there. Let's do it. But just adding some stuff like that and being thankful, it's such a huge thing. I'm glad that it makes you feel like that too, just to do it. Spark a little something different.
Yeah, be gracious, be grateful for, you know, every human being. You're going to hear me say that a lot too. Be gracious and grateful for every human being on the other side of that screen.
100%. 100%. It's so massive just to have that support. And to people, for them to like your stuff, say something and give a thumbs up. You know, it means something. It means a lot. And Terrell's here, yay. Phil, I was saying the most fun part of content creation for me is a creative process, and finally being able to make almost anything that I can imagine, and knowing I'm able to help people is the best thing ever. I think I completely relate, because, you know, being thankful and, you know, the appreciation is all there, but the biggest thing, and that's great, and, you know, one of the side tip is knowing that you're helping others, and knowing that someone else is being helped in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through entertainment, whether it's through just the fact that you made them giggle a bit, or help them learn about a product, or help them learn about an experience, felt like you were part of an experience with them, or just learn about anything, or just something. You're making an impact, and that's quite a footprint. A digital immortalizing footprint on the internet of YouTube, on the platform of YouTube. But all right. So that's definitely a good one. So tip number 4, and we're at 15 minutes, so we got a few more to do. But tip number 4 is being flexible. So what does that mean exactly for me? Being flexible with myself. Like, sometimes I'm not there mentally to just get this all done. And being flexible with, like, okay, I can adjust this here. For me, ADHD and chaos, having to schedule is, like I mentioned before, weird. So, you know, always creating or always writing a script or always filming or always doing at X hour at this day is really odd for my system, my weird biological computer flesh to just, you know, do stuff at certain times. So I've had to learn how to be flexible and allow myself to do, all right, I'm not feeling it here, but you know what? Maybe later that night I am. And then I can kind of jump into that and figure out or adjust as I need to go. And that has enabled me to be filled with a bit more motivation as I go along, versus being, you know, if that creative flow isn't there, just kind of being stuck in a state of paralysis. It's definitely a tough thing, but I think that flexibility is important. Is that something that you relate to, Kathleen? I'll pass it over to you.
I mean, that sounds like, to me, what that sounds like is just being kind to yourself. Like, I mean, which is important.
Absolutely.
Which is important. I think that, you know, if you're, you know, and I think this has been kind of a through line in our conversation. If you're just forcing yourself to make content, I don't know that your heart is going to be in that, you know, and I think that that's important. And I think that you need to give yourself time and space and allow yourself to, you know, garner your energy when you have it. And also, you know, life happens, right? Like we all are dealing with so much stuff. You know, a lot of people are struggling with different things in our brains. And I think it causes more stress, you know, to if you have yourself on this strict deadline. And of course, you know, we could talk about how, it's important to stay consistent, to publish a video every 2 weeks or every week or whatever it is. But I think in the long run, you know, that's not sustainable if it is grueling for you and you're not finding joy in it anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And you know, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're talking about flexibility. We were joking in the chat a minute ago with Dysphagia about, you know, I'd been around for YouTube since the beginning, and I have not. I've been with YouTube for 5 years now. You want to talk about flexibility? In 5 years, I have been through the adpocalypse, COPPA, Article 13. Oh man, I can't even name all of the guys in the chat. Name everything that YouTube has happened in just the last couple of years. The things that you're aware of, you know, the addition of things like shorts. When I was around, I went to live stream one day, and I went to do a live stream, and I went to hit the button. I had the live stream entirely set up and ready to go, and I went to hit the live button, and a notification popped up and said, "Oh, you're no longer allowed to stream on a mobile device." Like that happened happened literally 10 minutes before I hit the live thing is when they made the rule to where you could do it on mobile. I do everything with my phone. You know, for anybody who's not aware, I do not own a computer. So that was like, oh wow. I had to, and I tell you what, I still managed to pull off that stream. Thanks to D Nimmin, he helped me out with that one. There was a workaround that we were able to get, and I was able to get that stream going. But you want to talk about flexible, that you need to be prepared for that. We're not done. Like the copyright issues, you've got the new music thing that YouTube is putting out. You've got new things coming out where you can respond to comments with a short video. You have the entire short video extravaganza thing that is. Things are always changing. Things are always going to be adapting. There's going to be a new thing. There's going to be new travesties. There's going to be impediments and things in your way. There's going to be new technologies. You've got ChatGPT coming around. You got all of this weird stuff happening. These new things are coming out, and you got to keep up with the times. You have to be flexible. Don't think for a second that you can just rely on doing your 5 or 8 or 10 minute VODs or your 1 hour live streams just once a week for the next 10 years, and everything is going to be fine. You've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to upgrade your mentality along the way. Be ready for these things to come along. Don't let them just strike you. Don't let another adpocalypse come along and all of a sudden, no more ad money. You know, I just now finally, after 10 years, got to 50,000 subscribers, but now my revenue is cut in half, and I'm going to have to get a job and quit my channel because they're not paying me the money that I was making for the last 3 years. That's you know, it's Nick Nimmin likes to call it it's rented real estate. You know, you don't own anything here. We are all just renting our spots on this platform. So be prepared for that. Be flexible when things change. Be flexible in keeping up with the times, and don't have that mentality where it's like, you know, you have this fear of change. I guarantee things are going to change. I guarantee in the next 12 months there's going to be a thing that we are all freaking out about in one way or another. It's going to happen. It's just the nature of the beast.
It's great. I love that. And I love these responses because, you know, if I were to reframe this tip to, you know, how does flexibility lead to motivation? I think, one way flexibility with yourself, and, kind of leads to being kind to yourself, which ultimately allows you to be motivated in the times that is right for you. The other side of that is, being flexible when it comes to content as things change. Things as we are seeing constantly keep changing all the time. Dislike buttons go away and then they come back.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Now it's about shorts versus, and what's going to happen next.
This music thing is going to be big. It
creator music. Creator music is going to be huge.
Music is a big one.
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit.
It is a mess right now. I'm in the bed on that, and it is scary. It is scary, like just downright. Like I am scared of taking advantage of that. That having been said, this is the whole creator music thing that they are rolling out. They're working on is the thing that needed to have happened back in like the early 2000s. What was that? That Napster. This should have happened back in Napster days. Like it is that big of a deal. It is ridiculous the way the music industry has been for the past however many years. They got a stranglehold on everything back in the 90s. Finally, these record executives are starting to pull their head out of the sand and realize the potential of working with creators. Now, this first thing that they're allowing people to do is not endgame. That is not how it needs to be. But thankfully, we finally have an opportunity for this. It's going to be big. I think this is going to be a big thing. Not yet, but like, a couple years down the road when they finally get it perfected.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, creator music is the latest, or kind of one of those things that's what is even, which opens up other opportunities. And I think that flexibility to kind of play with these ideas, or especially when they do really, gain certain amount of traction. For example, like shorts, kind of really, I think it's really getting placed in deeply here at the moment, and being flexible enough to try shorts if you haven't made shorts before, can lead to these kind of different things and lead to additional motivation when you start to see even more content, or different ways of presenting content, and different ways that your audience enjoys the content, or different ways that you might enjoy consuming.
It's a different audience that you're looking at. You're targeting a different demographic with them.
Yeah, and one way I can relate is I don't watch as many long form videos as I used to because now I'm stuck on these series of shorts that if they found me, I'm ADHD, forgot 5 seconds, teach me everything in 5 seconds.
Dude, I'm stodgy. I'm stodgy. I don't like change. I don't have anything to do with shorts. They are I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to make them. I'm going to be aware of them and what works. I'm going to study them, but I want my 30-minute fishing videos. I don't. Off my lawn.
Off your digital lawn.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about that earlier. So the thing that drives me up a wall the most about the shorts videos is the effect they have on your subscriptions feed. If you want to see a dumpster fire, go to your YouTube viewing page and look at your subscriptions feed, which I have my channels that I love. I enjoy getting up and watching the videos from my guys. And now it's such a Swiss cheese mess. Like, all these shorts videos with no terrible thumbnails, and half of them are just kind of put out with no real work or anything put into them. And I'm just like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. It ruined my subscription feed. They are going to fix that. I guarantee they fix that.
Oof. All right, and also great quote for sure.
Surviving Jay, that's funny.
By Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change.
That. That's good. That's good.
And, define God in whatever way.
You're right. Exactly. Yes. Not getting political here.
Yeah.
But,
But still, I think the message there is pretty great. We're getting close to the end here, so I'm gonna I think we got more than 6 tips in. But one of the other ones, and there's really 2 other ones, but what I had planned with tip number 5 is, and I think we've already kind of touched on that this last tip, and so they're all kind of together. But taking risks, how does that lead to motivation? Some can already relate that taking risks can be exciting, and that can kind of create this bit of excitement, or motivate you to to see what this could potentially do for you, and define that in your own way, or measure that especially in your own way. But we're talking about experimentation, we're talking about adaptability, and I think all that comes with a degree of risk, and not being afraid to take some of those risks, to try some of those different things, to collaborate with somebody that has 1/10 of the subscribers that you have. All these ideas, all these things definitely play a part into finding motivation, especially if you are in a rut, and if nothing else is working. If you haven't tried that, try something. Take a risk. If you never tried shorts before, take a risk. It could add in so many ways, not only to your toolkit, but improve for that continuous improvement quest that we are all on, and all that.
I was just real quick. I was going to add to that. That reminds me of actually, I think a conversation that Matt and I had in the Discord server, where I had shared about how my first creative passion is writing, and when I had a huge writing block, what I did to kind of spark, or I was hoping to spark that flow again, was to try a completely different area of art. Like I got into photography, modeling and photography as a result, and I ended up falling in love with and being inspired by that. And so, and then of course I eventually went back to writing, but I think that maybe trying something completely out of left field can sometimes help. But the thing that Matt had pointed out in the server that I think is also really important, that I need to be better about trying myself, is to just write whatever, I think that's also important, to just have that practice. And it's great advice to, because the longer you go without doing it, that I feel like the harder it is to get that motivation back to do it. So I think that having a practice, a very dedicated practice, and and I think that I read this book about habits and forming good habits, and one of the things that he points out is making your goals very small and manageable, so that it's so that you can, when you do it, you feel good about yourself and you keep continuing, but it's not too hard that it's intimidating. And so, I tell myself maybe writing for 5 minutes in the morning, just free writing is 5 minutes seems doable, right? Anyway, that was just what you were saying reminded me of that.
Nice. I like it. Clown Baby Dragon, welcome to the stream.
Appreciate that.
Hi,
buddy, old pal. Oh, chum. All right. One of the last tips they had here is really putting it all into perspective. And another way of saying that is, for me, at least the way I'm interpreting this and the way I put it all into perspective is, with all that there aside, I think I remember the goals and why I'm trying to achieve these goals, and where will I be in the future, my vision, and not just the vision of the channel, but the vision of my personal life. What will I have? What will I have accomplished? How will I have impacted people? Where will I be? And the perspective of not just that, doing what you love, and it's a pie chart, and helping others, making friends, connecting with other credible, creative people, being surrounded by encouragement, support, inspiration, all the good stuff. Just saying that out loud right now is giving me goosebumps and is fueling me with motivation to keep up that momentum, to keep up the flow, or just jump in like, all right, I got an idea now. I got something to put out, to share. But that's that last tip, perspective. I don't know if that's something that has helped both of you or can relate in some way. Stanley or Kathleen?
Yes. Oh, no, go ahead, Stanley. I spoke last time, so.
Okay, so yeah, keeping things in perspective, this is going to be the thing it's that I have to say about this. And it's super difficult. It's not something that any of us do. And I'm in the same boat. Okay, I want this. That's the disclaimer on what I'm about to say. It requires a disclaimer. Keeping things in perspective, you need to absolutely be aware of what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. Everyone here, I'm guilty as well. We look at our subscriber count and we judge ourselves by our subscriber count or by the number of views that you get on your most recent video or something along those lines. And these are important metrics that you need to be aware of. They are absolutely not a measure of the quality of the work that you do. They are not a measure of you as a human being. They are not even a very good measure of the quality of your content. I like the quality, if you want to look at it on like an individual video basis or anything, the number of views means like pretty much absolutely nothing in that first 90 days. Okay, take those things, throw them right out the window. You are not your subscriber count. Your video is not the sum of the number of views that it just got in its first week. Okay, look at your channel. You want to keep things in perspective. Take a look at your channel. Look at the number of videos that you have made. Look at the comments that you receive, the things that people have said about it. Look at, if you're doing live streams, look at the community that you are like this right now. You want to talk, if we're talking about things that I am proud of, I'm going to tell you right now, the number one thing that I'm proud of, I just had a shorts video pop yesterday. I am reaching a milestone that I am fairly proud of as far as my channel goes. I'm getting there, but I'll tell you right now, the thing that I am proud of, the thing that just that puts tears in my eyes right now, literally, you're talking about goosebumps, the thing that motivates me, putting it all in perspective, is this group of people that is hanging out with us for the last hour. That community, my friends, my associates, my peers, that is the thing that I am most proud of. That is the thing that takes all of that. I could, that shorts video yesterday, you tell me right now, in the chat, you guys want me to make that private? You want me to delete that video? It's deleted like that. I do not care about that shorts video. What I care about is the friends and the community that I have managed to get, ingrained with here. That is the important thing. The things that I have learned looking at my YouTube channel and looking at the quality of the content that I put out. I'm proud of the fact that I do it with a phone and not a computer. That is the things that I'm proud. I'm proud that I can send somebody to my channel and I can, and I'm proud of the fact that I can say, honest, like I can say, if I was to tell somebody I'm a 50,000 subscriber channel, they're not going to bat an eye. They're not going to look at that and go, are you really? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but that's what I'm proud of, is that's the quality of work that I put out. I'm proud of the people that I've met, the friends that I've made, those associations. Those are the things that are the most valuable to me. Take that subscriber count, whole mentality, take that whole mentality, that whole influencer mentality of like, oh, I need likes and I need the thumbs up and the social media stats and those vanity metrics, take all that, throw it right out the window. That's not what it's about. It's about this right here. It's about this group of people hanging out, appreciating, being creators, being that creator group together. That's where the value is, man.
100%. Exactly that. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's it's always coming back down to that and remembering what you're proud of. Part of perspective, bringing all that, bringing it all into perspective.
Dude, everybody in the chat here, they're dropping it too. Yeah, you talk mic drop, exactly right. And that's not me, that's everybody here. Your self-worth should not be determined by your net worth. Absolutely. It's hard not to judge yourself as a content creator and the quality of your content based on views and subscriber count, of course. But the number and quality of comments and subscriber to video ratio is a much better gauge. I absolutely agree with you there. Take it easy, TB team. Oh, you're out of here, Matt. Hey, Matt, appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
Don't
Matt.
be a stranger.
Well, on that note, we are at time, and all this is good. All this is great. I hope that these tips were helpful for you. If anything, having this conversation alone, hanging out with, other creators in the community, hearing your thoughts, already full of fire, full of fuel. And if this didn't help, it's like, find what helps you power up. Get your health meter up. Turn Super Saiyan. Go even further beyond. Whatever it takes. And if anything, this is one of them. Every other Thursday, we're going to have some creator community thing where we pretty much talk, hang out, learn, figure things out, experiment, above all, improve, not just as content creators, but as people, as a group, as friends, and let's just help each other figure this out together. Creators, everybody, thanks for being part of this stream. Stanley, Kathleen, thank you for also being here.
Pleasure.
Everybody,
thank you for having us.
This is our show. This is our time, our moment. Please take care. And as I always say, drink your water, take your breaks, and keep on creating. Take care, everybody.
Have a great day, guys.
See y'all next time.